When it comes to investing, our strategy tends to differ with our age brackets. The more an investor is getting older, the more the individual concerned will tend to vary his portfolio strategy. And that's why in this particular video, I want to talk about building a high dividend yield portfolio for retirement income, building a high dividend yield portfolio for retirement income. As we approach retirement, our focus is less on growth and more on income. That's that regular stream of income we expect to obtain to give us a comfortable retirement. And so in this video, I want to talk about a number of points here. Number one is you need to define your income needs. You define your income need to determine how much income you need to generate each year to cover your retirement expenses. Sit down, compare your expected expenses actually, and then you calculate what you will need to sustain you, year in, year out. This will help you estimate the amount of capital you need to invest in dividend-paying stocks. They said you may need to generate 4% or so yearly to be able to sustain, to be able to maintain your lifestyle during retirement. So whenever you're investing, think about the 4% you are going to generate. That will determine the amount of money you will invest as your capital. Number two is diversify across sectors. You diversify, across sectors. Diversification reduces risk, as we all know. So you invest in high dividend yield stocks, across different sectors. Sectors like utilities, like healthcare, like consumer goods and other stable sectors of that nature. So it protects against sector-specific downturns and ensures steady income from various sources. In the case where a particular sector is not doing well, that will not affect your portfolio tremendously because others could do well, at the same time. So it will not really have a huge negative impact on your returns or your expected income flow. Number three is consider dividend growth. So you look for companies with a history of not just not just high yield, but also consistent dividend growth. The dividend is growing year in, year out. If they pay, let's say, $1 this year, they should be paying maybe $1.02 next year. The upper year, $1.50. The other year, the coming year, maybe $1.70 or 80 cents. That consistent increment is very important. So that these stocks can offer increasing income over time, which is valuable, as living expenses rise, and as well as the impact of inflation. Number four is focus on sustainability. You need to focus on how sustainable, is the company's dividend payment policy. So evaluate the sustainability of dividends by examining payout ratios, earning stability, cash flow, as well as debt levels. This helps ensure that a dividend can be maintained even in a challenging economic condition. Look at the debt level in the company, look at its cash flow, look at its earning. You need to assess its general fundamentals and see whether the dividends they are paying is something that is sustainable in the future. Number five is balance yield with stability. You balance the dividend yield with stability. So while high dividend yield stock can be attractive, they may come with higher risk. So you need to balance. In this case, you need to balance the high yield stock with stable lower yield stocks from companies with strong fundamentals and lower volatility. Don't just go in for high dividend yield and forget the other factors. There should be a balance. So in that case, to create that balance, you need to introduce stocks with lower yield, you know, and that provides stability, and that will guarantee lower volatility. So in that case, you are covered, so to say. Number 6, reinvest dividends. You reinvest dividends. So in the early years of retirement or during market downturn, consider reinvesting dividends by buying more shares. You kind of incorporate a dividend reinvestment plan, you know. So this helps grow the portfolio over time. That will give you compound returns, for future income. The more you generate your dividends, you reinvest. That will give you a larger number of shares, and this larger number of shares will generate, more additional dividends, and then the entire portfolio will compound over time. Not only that, number 7, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video, so that I will be motivated the more to keep on bringing contents of this nature your way. I hope you are enjoying my content. If you are enjoying my content, please make sure you comment in the comment section. All right, I want that feedback. It's very important. So number 7 is minimize taxes. So you consider tax implication of dividend income, especially if you are in a higher tax bracket. As an investor, you're in a higher tax bracket, you need to take your taxes seriously. So in some cases, tax efficient account like the IRA or the Roth IRAs, can help reduce the tax burden on dividend income. These accounts have a kind of tax advantage, so it will reduce your tax payouts at the end of the day. Number 8, you monitor and adjust regularly. You need to monitor your portfolio and carry out regular adjustments, as is needed. So regularly review your portfolio to ensure that dividend yield remains sustainable. Be ready to make adjustments if a company cuts its dividends or if the overall economic, environment changes. So be on the watch, be vigilant, be very careful of what is happening around you, market sentiments, company performance, economic conditions. You consider all these factors and then, rebalance your portfolio, whenever it becomes necessary. Do that regularly. Number 9, you plan for inflation. You can't escape inflation. It's something that has really come to stay. So what do? We plan on how to handle inflation. So ensure your portfolio includes stocks that grow their dividends over time to keep pace with inflation. So stocks with long-term growth potentials can provide income that outpaces rising cost. It's not just getting the dividend, but if the dividend will it be able to meet up with inflation? If inflation is maybe, let's say, 9% and your dividend is 8%, in that case it will not go very far. So look for a kind of yield that will outpace inflation. So building a portfolio actually, of high dividend yield stocks for retirement requires a mix of income generation, diversification, sustainability, as well as some tax efficiency. So a well-constructed portfolio can provide, steady cash flow and help secure financial independence in retirement. It is secure, financially independent. When you retire, you discover that you'll be having a regular income, coming in as a retiree. That's why you must prioritize, high dividends portfolio. You prioritize, having high dividend yield stocks in your portfolio.